Hi, I'm Dana. Anyways, have you ever wondered how you can actually save on your taxes and go on a business trip and incorporate your personal time? So here we're going to talk about how I created a plan for Japan. I'm redoing this video because there's a couple of things that I learned and I wanted to make sure I share this with you. So first, you have to look for an event. When I talk to my tax strategist, it has to be something that's business related at your desired destination. So think about I went to Japan to attend Enagic's 50th anniversary, and I'm doing the travel blog, and that allows me to be able to document a business activity every day. I post this story, and then I'm also incorporating that into a video. So the whole thing becomes a business expense. The other thing is I wanted to hire a family member. My future stepson got engaged in Japan, but my future stepson is a photographer. So I hired him with the payment of flight, lodging, and transportation and communication. So I incorporated that into the contract. Instead of paying him cash, I paid for the trip. And then I keep track of all the documentation. When I talked to the tax strategist, he said that like the video is fine because we're actually doing YouTube. So you're documenting the entire video, the itinerary, the agenda, that's key. And then I also, just for extra measure, when I make business plans, I also document meeting minutes. Now, I'm not a sole proprietor, so this works when you are a limited liability company. So when you're looking at designing your business and designing your life, try to see if you can incorporate both. And then remember, anything that's ordinary and necessary for your business, hence the travel log. Now, when you map out your dates for the destination, try to maximize the trip by planning it out because you got to incorporate transportation as well as lodging and then the event and still be able to include the business activities. So it's all encompassing. You have to make sure that you plan those things accordingly. And then also try to travel before and after the event. When I listened to Melon and Money mention that when you are going to the event, and let's say you get there on like the weekend and then the event is prior, sometimes it kind of looks like it's more of a personal thing. So try to see if you can get there on a weekday, do some business activities, and then attend the conference and then do some more business activities before you fly out. So this way, the whole thing is a business event. So if you're a realtor and you're traveling, make sure you take a look at properties when you are visiting an area and document that. Now, when you are traveling and commuting, see if you can get the fare alert ahead of time. I did another video of lessons learned, and I'll put the link on the description below. But make sure you buy travel insurance, include that with your trip, because in case there's any delays or any medical issues, you want to be able to be covered. And then flights between the islands, I had to kind of coordinate. Lessons learned there is make your initial city hub and then fly out of there. When I tried to see if I can basically travel from Tokyo to Osaka to save an hour of flight to Okinawa, but it was like a 3-hour train ride to get to Osaka, which makes no sense. But that's lessons learned. Also, look for transportation. We did do the JR Rail Pass, but what we learned when we were in Tokyo is it doesn't cover all. You actually need to have, which only takes yen, and there's actually an app. I'll put the link below, and I believe it's got a little penguin. I think it's Southsea. Anyways, it actually keeps track of your entire balance. I believe it's one like near field connection. So then that way you just swipe your phone or swipe the card, and it goes ahead and takes the yen out of your card to pay for the metro. Now, the other thing is the apps. I didn't use Japan Travel. I did use Navitime to kind of help create my itinerary ahead of time. And the Get JR Pass was helpful when we were trying to look for the rail, but honestly, the main one is Go. That one was for like basically Uber for taxis and Google Maps. So I can share that in another video on how to use it. Now, for accommodations, the best thing is to look for proximity close to the transportation. When we landed in Narita, the apartment that we stayed at was about like 2 miles away, so we had to walk, and it was night. So it was like a lot. When you're tired, you've flown like 11 hours, you really want to find something close by. I tried to save a little bit of money ahead of time. The lessons that are learned is save time versus saving money, because it's really a small amount if you think about it, especially when you're exhausted. But the apartment was super nice, so it was worth it. And that gave us the amenities that we needed. We had enough space. It was better than a hotel room, and we were able to just relax. Now, when we got back to Tokyo, and then when we went to Okinawa had all the amenities that we wanted, which had At breakfast, we had a lounge area. It had a Japanese bath, and it also provided a shiatsu masseuse. So we each had one. It had full clothes on, but the cool part is like they come to your room and then go ahead and give you the shiatsu massage. So that was super helpful. It actually made it feel like a vacation. Coming back to Tokyo after Okinawa, we stayed in Haneda, and that was a better airport versus Narita. Narita was actually further out from Tokyo, and Haneda has like all the amenities that you would need within that airport. And then once you actually get to the hotel, when we took the rail to the hotel JL City, it was maybe 5 minutes. So that was super nice. Each room can only hold two persons, so we got two rooms at the end, and it equal to about like $80 a night per. So it was really nice. For travel plans, when you are creating a travel plan, and put the link to my trip tracker. I got geeky and created a trip tracker to track the cost and then the itinerary. It helped me map things out a little bit. And I work as a strategic planner for the VA. So that is how I see things. I see things in spreadsheets, and I see things in like rows. So anyways, so when you map out your itinerary, make sure you create space in between, because not everyone can handle that pace. Transportation, walking time, plane ride, think about that as far as the in between. And then when you are crafting your fun time, like, because we actually did some snorkeling, I selected a location that was close to the marina, so then we didn't have to travel as much. It was further away from the conference. However, the conference was one day and we were there for 3 days, so it made sense to stay close to the airport and the marina where we needed to go. And then also creating the cushion allows for everybody to adjust. When you're traveling, you're already tired when you land, and to try to do too many things, it just wears people out. Plus, you want to incorporate everybody's must do when you're there, and having the time in between when we got to Okinawa to just rest, and then having the time in Tokyo, it made it nice. So we were actually just able to just kind of enjoy versus going. Not everything needs to be done like a checklist. Now, when we're exploring the sites, plan together. I shared my itinerary with Griffin, so then that way he can see what I was thinking and then come up with his own list. And then we went ahead and put that. Now, by putting it together, we got a chance to go to Akihabara, do snorkeling. That was for me. We got to play the arcade games. We got to Mount Fuji. So we got all the things that we needed to do and we wanted to do within 7 days. Now, when you are bringing a relative or somebody that's young, that's not familiar, make sure you guys take turns using the transportation system. That allowed him to be able to do things on his own. You can separate and then come back together. And then also make sure that you have your communication set. What we realized is when we went to Tokyo, pocket Wi-Fi worked really well, but the SIM card didn't. It actually was so slow that he wasn't able to do any of the technology. The thing is, you actually need that when you're in Tokyo, between Google Maps, between texting your people just to kind of keep in touch, sending photos. Those are actually what makes the trip fun. So reach out to your carrier. We reached out to T-Mobile and they were able to make some changes. I think it was a $5 per day for the data plan and made it so much easier. The pocket Wi-Fi was great. We actually was able to carry 5 users for 7 days and made it so much easier. Now, as far as the tips for Japan, I was trying to be more conservative with regards to like how I didn't show my tattoos or didn't show my shoulder. However, it all depends on where you are. Some of them it's not a big deal, especially when we were in Okinawa and we were on military bases. And then we didn't get a chance to go to the shrines as much as we wanted to in Tokyo. So I just went ahead and prepared and brought something that had sleeves. And then also we packed for different weather and we packed light. Everything was in a backpack, because once you are in Tokyo and you are like traveling using the metro, it doesn't matter. Not everything has an escalator, definitely steps. So after a while, it's like when you are lugging a carry-on with wheels, it's just cumbersome. So I had a backpack that converted to carry-on with wheels if I needed to, if I got tired. But eventually, instead of metro, when I was exhausted and tired from walking, I just went ahead and booked the Go app, and that was like basically Ubering Then also bring a coin purse because yen is mostly in coins. There's a couple of bills, but for the most part, you pay in coins, and not everything takes a card. They use Visa. You can use an ATM and go to a 7-Eleven to go get cash, but it is helpful to actually keep the coins and maybe get an IC card. Now, the culture, the people are super polite. This is something I researched ahead of time, and I'm glad I did. And then also practicing mindfulness, like, because not everybody's as boisterous as Americans, right? So they're super quiet. And so be mindful of your volume. And then also when you are on the metro, this is their main mode of transportation. Pay attention to where people are standing. If you don't feel like running, allow people to run past you. They stand on the left, so like they pass on the right. It's reversed because, like, basically traffic is the opposite direction. And then also, as far as things to try, we didn't get a chance to do karaoke, but there are everywhere. But we did get a chance to go to the arcade. We did the Japanese cuisine. There is something that you have to be mindful of. I believe it's called masmashi, but it is sashimi, but it was horse meat. I didn't partake, but be careful. Pay attention to the menu. It might be on there, especially attention to the grain of the meat because it is different. So those are the things to try. We did the sightseeing with Tokyo Tower. We did Shibuya Scramble, the crossing. It is super fun, but I just liked enjoying the way the locals did. That's why I really enjoyed doing the transportation, doing the public way versus constantly using the Go app. And that is our Japan trip. Click and subscribe and find out more. Watch the ones for the Go app and how to use it, the Google Maps, and then how to create your